Episode 14. Oh, baby. I awoke to the clanging of my roof. Not something on it, the whole roof. It jumped into the air and flopped around, loud buzzing outside, dust kicking everywhere, people yelling. I ran outside to avoid it collapsing in on me, then went for my cinder blocks. Denny was running up the way among the chaos as everyone rushed to secure things. He looked at me, then at the sky beyond, then back at me. Then he jumped right over my fence, running for a cinder block. I hoisted mine up onto the roof where it was jumping, and he followed behind with another. We threw a few more on to keep it down, and then I untied my tarp so they wouldn't rip. With a now clear view of the sky, it confirmed what I suspected, a large military helicopter hovering nearby. Men in heavy armor rappelled down on ropes in the distance. After a few minutes, the helicopter pulled up high enough to stop shaking everything. "You bent my fence," was the first thing out of my mouth, pointing to where my chain link was now bowed inward. "You needed help?" he replied with a yelp. "Well, now I need you to help my fence," I replied, eyebrows up and a stern look. He laughed and went to try to bend it back. I went back inside and hung the blanket up to keep the cool air in. As I came out, I saw Ray walking our way. Denny was still working at the fence as Ray stopped just outside, looking at me, looking at him, and looking at the chain and padlock still secured on the fence, which suggested we had woken up together. He really couldn't have had worse timing. I was thinking about letting that story ride just for the fun of it, but Denny chimed in. "I was bringing her blanket back," he explained simply. He missed the detail about the fence being locked with him inside, which made it look even more guilty. Ray gave a slow, suspicious nod. Truth is, he didn't care. There were times when I wished he would have cared, but I hadn't felt that way about him in a while. I had a deep affection for him, but it was only that. I went to unlock the gate. "What's with the helicopter? Does that happen a lot around here?" Denny asked. "Not too often, and never this close." Ray replied, looking up at it still buzzing overhead. "They're after that baby. Someone for sure reported it last night when it was crying." I looked up at the helicopter. "How will they find it in all this?" Denny asked. "People will tell them. They want the military out of here as fast as possible, and most agree this is no place for a kid. That and it's probably screaming after all that," Ray responded. "What do they do with the baby, though?" Denny asked. "They'll probably use it for genetic testing in some lab," I shrugged. Ray shot me a look, but I held my expression. "Are you messing with me?" Denny said, squinting in disbelief and concern. Ray laughed, then explained. "They'll offer the mom or dad to go with it, raise it somewhere else. Just can't be here. But they have to have somewhere to go, a family member's house. Can't just go be in the streets. If there's no family or place, then CPS will take custody. Though if the parents don't cooperate right now, they'll shoot them in the face and say they were resisting," I added. The helicopter started to lower again. The wind and noise picked up slowly, but this time a little farther away. The roof still clattered. We watched as one soldier with a basket went first, riding the winch up. Two more followed, tied to another rope, probably the mom, then a third soldier alone. I stared at the helicopter hovering. A glint reflected off something shiny, blinding me for a second. "There's cameras on it." A little voice came to the back of my mind. "They're searching for me." I panicked and ducked behind my wall. They saw me. I ran through my actions, trying to think if I'd done anything they'd notice. "You fucked up." Then I looked down at the ground to see the editing time mug broken next to me. "They saw you." The lens of the camera on the side of the mug stared up at me. "It's watching you." I challenged myself to look into it. "It was just a drawing. I stared it down. They can see you." "Let's go inside," Ray said, pinching the fabric of my shirt at the shoulder to pull me up. "Denny, can you clean that up?" he asked, pointing to the mug as he nudged me inside. Episode 15. Still a stranger. I went inside and sat on the long trunk against the wall. Ray followed, giving me a long look. "I didn't do anything," I said urgently, staring at him. But I meant it as a question. "You did a good job," Ray replied. I nodded, paused, then nodded again, replaying my actions in my head. Making sure. Yeah, I was okay. Denny came in soon after, both of them too tall for the inside. I don't think they'd hit if they stood normal, but it would be very close, so they both slouched forward. Denny was holding the blanket I'd lent him. I stared at Ray, wondering why he was here. He must have read the look. I heard all the noise and came to check on you, he said. So all three of us stood there awkwardly with no purpose for being together this early. I stared at the ground, replaying my actions, double and triple checking that they didn't see me. Denny eventually asked, "Is there any work I can do?" "I don't have anything more to trade." "Yeah," Ray said. "It's a water day. If you hike up to the front, it shouldn't be too crazy this early, and I've got ask around for empty jugs and make some trades. We've got some bottles to fill that we can trade for meals too. Get whatever single bottles of water you can while you're up there too. Those are basically currency, even if you refill them," Ray continued. "If I wanted another blanket and the knife back, how much for that?" I thought about this for a second. "Find someone who will trade water or work for cash, and we can get you one on our run tomorrow. You'd have to work harder for a blanket than you would the cash to buy one." He nodded. "If you fill my bottles, you can have your knife back and another meal," I added. This brought a huge smile to his face. He thanked me. "I would have given you 2 meals for the knife anyway," I continued. "If you have time, you can fill my cans with dirt out on the mesa and bring them back. I'll do a meal for every trip. That should buy you another 4 or 5 meals." He acknowledged and left with my jugs. Ray followed him out, telling him to come get his wagon from his house. This didn't leave much for me to do today, so after they left, I went back to bed, then read, then bathed lightly. As it grew hot inside, I opened the door but stayed in the shade, playing on my phone for hours as the solar panel tried to keep up. People came and handed me cash or items to trade for me to pick up things on tomorrow's run. If Denny could manage to get all the water we needed, tomorrow wouldn't be a big haul. Very few people were asking for things. I wondered if, profit-wise, the trip would even be worth it. But I decided we could get some panhandling in, grab some more canned meats and bouillon. We'd have time to stop around town at a few places to find some free stuff too. I went ahead and made a post to Craigslist asking for donations, especially blankets. There weren't often any replies, but it was always worth a try. Sometimes they donated canned goods or things we could trade. One time we got a gift card and Ray and I shared a pizza. It was amazing. I texted Bog to confirm the car for tomorrow and see what he wanted in trade. He took a few hours and eventually replied, "A summer sausage and a few peaches." I threw him a thumbs up. I don't know why, but in the weirdest way, everything he requested sounded vulgar. A while later, Denny came back pulling Ray's wagon. He had a few gallons of water for me. I carried them inside and put them under the table. I turned around to stand back up, and he was standing there inside, looking down on me. It gave me a jump and immediately made me feel like a trapped rat. It was one thing when Ray was here, but this did not feel safe. I backed up, looking at him with a squint, waiting to see what he was doing, placing my hand next to a knife on the table. "So listen, I was wondering, if I fill all the cans in 1 or 2 trips, does it still count as 4 or 5? He asked, seemingly unaware that he just breached my boundaries. "Don't," I started. "Don't come into my house without an invite." He looked surprised. "For that matter, don't go onto anyone's property unless they ask you to," I continued. "Is this about this morning with the fence?" he asked. "No, this is about right now," I replied. "It's fine you came into the yard. I opened the gate. But people get killed around here for that. Don't go anywhere you're not invited." He gave a slow nod. I could read that he felt I was being dramatic. Look, people around here are unstable. They forget things. They have moods. They get wild theories in their heads that make them not trust people. I'm fine. I'm not going to pull a gun on you, but you will get yourself shot by assuming you're welcome. "Well, that explains why Dave told me to get the fuck out of here this morning," he added, rubbing his neck. "And that explains why my hand is by this knife right now," I said, tapping my finger on the table next to it.